It's Theo from Theo's Tech Tips, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to use Git. Let's get started. So Git is a method of storing source code on the cloud that can be used for sharing code or just code backups, or even collaborating on code. And some of the most popular platforms are GitHub and Bitbucket, and I'm going to be showing you how to use GitHub. So the first thing you want to do is to go into GitHub and make sure you have an account. And then once you do, you want to make a new repository. So I'm going to call this YouTube demo. And I'm going to make this a private repository, but you could also make it a public. And then we'll go press create. So now what we want to do is we want to set up our repository on our local machine. So what you want to do is you want to install Git. Now, you can check if Git is already installed by opening a terminal and go git -- version. And as you can see, I already have Git installed. In fact, most Mac and Windows computers come pre-installed with Git. And if it isn't already installed, you can install it on Homebrew, because there's Git on Homebrew. So then you just have to make sure Homebrew is installed and run this command. So now that you've ensured that Git is installed, we need to open up our source code that we want to put onto GitHub. So because I don't have any code right now, I'm just going to make a quick coding project to put on GitHub. So I have some demo code that I will be putting on GitHub, and first I'm going to test it. And yes, it works. So now what we want to do is we want to find or create a new repository on the command line. So we're going to open up a terminal, and we're going to navigate to where this code project is. And now what we want to do is type git init, which will create a blank Git repository on our local machine. So then we want to add all of our source code into it, and we could do that by typing git add dot, which will add every single file, and then you could check the status of what files are imported by going git status. So now we want to make a commit. So a commit will basically save our changes, kind of. It's going to be the actual thing that gets deployed onto GitHub. So I'm going to say first commit. And then what we want to do is set up a main branch where our code is going to live on GitHub. So we're going to go git branch m main, which will set the main branch to a branch called main that we're creating right now. And then we want to add our GitHub repository to this local repository. So in order to do that, we will go git remote add origin. And then we want to copy the link up here. And then we want to push our changes to the main branch. So we could do that by going git push origin main. And after that, you can see right over here that branch main is set up to track origin main. So that means that we could just go git push instead of going git push origin main every single time. So if we refresh our GitHub page right over here, there's our first commit. And we could make this look a little bit nicer by adding a readme. So to do that, we could create a new file called readme.md in the root directory. Fun fact, in Visual Studio Code, if you press this button on a markdown file, it'll bring up a preview on a different tab. And to close that, you could just click X on the tab. right, so we have our README all set up, and once again, I'm just going to test it here. And yes, it works. If we go to Git status, we can see what files haven't been added into our Git repository yet. So we could go git add readme.md, and then when we check the status, we could see that it has been added. So you could go git commit added readme, and then push those changes to our Git repository. And if we reload, there's our README. So this is obviously like a very simple project, but this scales up to as much code as you want. Well, until GitHub doesn't let you. Anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'm Theo from Theo's Tech Tips, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!